Ask everyone to rate their own looks on a scale of 1 to 10, starting with you. Go ahead.
I would say like a 5.
5, okay. Sina?
I think I'm a 5 then.
What What did you rate yourself last show?
An 8.
Why did you lose 3 points in 48 hours?
48.
Yeah, you were here on Sunday. Do they use a different system in Canada? What is it? They count. There's not time clocks. They count you have a sundial?
Yes.
The sundial. Okay. When the sun.
They use snow metrics.
Snow.
So listen. So you were here when the pile of snow was here, and now it's here.
Yeah.
See? Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So the snow. Yeah. So you were an 8 on Sunday.
Yeah.
Now you're mid.
A 5.
You're a 5. How did that happen?
Just personal preference today.
Yeah. Are you?
It's the makeup
It's
today.
The makeup.
Your
It's the
makeup's all
Bad
fucked up.
makeup day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're so right. It's all. Is it? Are you gassy? Is that it, or
No.
that could lower your point?
Can I ask, because it seemed like you changed your answer based on her answer. Like you kind of compared.
Good catch.
And so like that was her own assessment. And so I was just curious why that would change for you based on what she thought.
What do you rate her then? Because you're like, oh, she rated herself low. I thought she must have been this. So what would you have rated her, I guess?
Well, I would, like, on my scale or her scale?
Well, what would you rate her?
I would rate her like an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, oh, if she's a 5, then I must be a 5.
No, it's mainly the way that I look today, I guess.
What happened?
The makeup.
The makeup.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. All right. Lost 3 points. And what about you?
5, like
What did you rate yourself last time?
6.
Why the downgrade?
Cause she's pretty as hell. Like what?
Okay. By the way, what is that? Is that makeup or?
Yeah. It's just drawing. Yeah.
But what's the symbol? It's like a
It's a spiral.
spiral. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
I'm going to rate myself like no extensions, lashes, all of that.
Yeah.
So I would say 7.5.
Without. And then with?
I think when I was younger, I would rate myself higher, but currently, like, maybe only go up to an 8.5 maybe.
8.5 with all the stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you were younger, like your peak or whatever the fuck. 10?
I would say 9. I can't get myself a 10. I would never rate myself perfect. And I had one time a guy told me I was a Vegas 10, but an LA 9.
A Vegas 10, but an LA 9.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
I want to say on a good day of 5.5.
All right. What about you?
7.
All right.
6.
All right.
7.
I give myself a 5. Andrew, what about you?
Since there's more realistic answers today, I'll go with the actual one. About a 4.
Yeah, not bad, right? Yeah. All right. And then on this one, though, do you think you'll be better looking in 10 years' time? So you're 23. Do you think you'll be better looking at 33?
I hope, but I don't think so. No.
Okay. You're 18. Do you think you'll be better looking in 10 years' time at 28?
Yes.
38?
No.
Do you think you'll be better looking in 10 years' time at 28?
Yes.
20 years' time at 38?
Yes.
30 years' time at 48?
Maybe not. No.
When's the peak?
Maybe high 20s.
High 20s.
Yeah.
Okay. You're 34. Do you think you'll be better looking in 10 years' time at 44?
No.
You're 34. Do you think you were better looking at 24?
No.
Better looking now? Better looking now at 34 versus 10 years ago at 24?
Yes.
Didn't you say you were a 9 when you were younger?
Yeah, but
So
I would
should I
say
go
not
further
all the way
back?
back that far. In between 24 and
So like 28?
28. Yeah.
Okay, so better looking at 28 than you are now at 34.
Correct.
How about this? Wait. better looking now at 34 versus 18?
Better looking now.
And then how about, well, I'll just ask, better looking at 28 or 18?
28.
Okay. You are 27, better looking in 10 years' time at 37.
To be quite honest, I honestly don't know. I want to say there's a 50-50 no, 50-50 yes. If I have kids, my body might change. So
Let's say
I
you
might,
don't have kids.
If I don't have kids?
Yeah.
If I don't have kids, I want to say I'll look decent enough.
No, the question is though, will you be better looking?
Better
compared to-
looking.
like, so you now and then in 10 years' time.
It's hard. Considering my eating habits and my just habits, I'm gonna say just probably yes. I'll look better
Okay. Because
in a
of
few
the
years.
eating habits.
Eating habits, yeah. Like I'm changing up. I'm trying to get healthier and like trying to work on myself to look better.
Sure, eating habits. Okay, I have a question on that, but and then you're 27, better looking now at 27, or we're gonna go 9 years back, or better looking at 18?
Oh God, no, not at 18. Better looking at 27.
Better looking now at 27 versus 18. Okay, and then going to you, you're 34, better looking in 10 years time at 44.
I hope so.
Okay, better looking in 20 years time at 54.
I hope it just gets better.
So you're saying you think you'll be better looking at 54 versus now at 34, excuse me.
I think that will depend on what resources are available to me.
Such as?
All kinds of different cosmetic and athletic.
Skincare.
Athletic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like different workouts, dietary. We know so much more about nutrition now than we did 20
diet,
years ago.
Another diet
So
thing. Okay. So,
I think nutrition.
and you're talking plastic surgery too?
Some, yeah.
Okay, so like
I would be
maybe
open to it.
lipo or Botox or other
I think it would depend on what I'm insecure about
Okay.
at that point.
Let's go 30 years forward. Better looking at 64 versus now at 34?
Again, I think it depends on what I'm willing to do at that point.
Yeah.
Better looking.
Yeah.
I think my audience changes, right? So who's the judge? Is it just me or is it generally, right?
Okay.
Actually, I'm actually kind of confused by that. Right? Why would your audience change? It's like the same amount of 20-year-olds as 50-year-olds are going to see you now as they do in 10 years, right?
Well, no, like I would consider like my judgment now is based on what my peers would consider. And so at 54, I'm also still going to be taking into consideration the opinion of my peers, which would be other people of the similar age. So
Why wouldn't you take into account people who were 10 years younger than you?
I mean, I don't
Like,
necessarily
at what point are
consider
they
their
not your
judgments.
peers anyway? Like, once you hit 20 or 25, are you just not a peer with somebody anymore because they're 35 or 40?
No, I think there's a limit to that. I think life experience can also change whether or not I consider someone a peer.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that your audience would change much, right? It seems like it'd be basically the same people or the same demographics who would look for the attractiveness measure.
Maybe a better way to put it is like how we judge attractiveness changes by age. So I personally feel I'm more attractive now. A lot of that has to do with the level of self-confidence that I have. And so I don't think that I had that level of confidence at 24. And I think that as you age, especially as a woman, you gain certain perspectives that only add to your allure as a woman.
Can I ask you a question then?
Of course.
Let's say that a guy had the option between two 24-year-old women, and one was a drop-dead knockout. She was gorgeous, but she was really shy and bashful and didn't have much confidence. And the other one was really not very good looking at all, but she was a boss babe. Who do you think you would prefer?
Me personally? You said she's not attractive at all? Like
No,
what?
not you personally. What do you think the guy would prefer?
I mean, I think it would depend on the guy, right? Like, what are his goals
Just
for
your
this
average,
one?
most of your average guys, right? Just on average, what do you think? Which one do you think you would prefer?
I mean, I think he's going to go with the prettier one.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is like, if that's the case, and I would agree with you, right? I think that that's a reasonable assessment to make. Then what the hell does confidence have to do with anything? Like,
Wait.
if we're asking for a physical metric of beauty, and that's what we're after, so often I hear women say, well, but I'm a lot more confident now than I used to be when I was prettier. But I don't actually understand that answer because it really doesn't have anything to do with the metric of the question of physical beauty, does it?
I think that the confidence piece comes from being comfortable in the position that we don't get dressed up for the boys, we get dressed up for ourselves and for the girls. And
Yeah, I understand the confidence portion. I get the confidence part. I understand. What I'm saying, though, is that if we're asking for just a purely beauty standard, just to physical be like confidence, somebody would have to talk to you. They'd have to know you. So that would have to come into play. There'd have to be an interpersonal dynamic. But what about just somebody looking at you?
I feel
They're
like I
still
can
gonna-
determine whether a person is confident or not by looking at them.
What?
Not
How do you determine
always.
that?
I don't think
Not always, but if you are observing a person looking for whether or not they are confident, you can tell by their body language.
No. Yeah, I mean, you get 3 seconds. You're walking down the street, right? The guy's walking past you. He's got 2 seconds. He just takes a look, right? Oh, she's good looking, or she's not. They don't got,
If he makes eye contact,
huge goggles, and they're looking through their magnifying glass at you and observing you for multiple minutes, right? They're just like walking past you. You're not going to know what your confidence level is there.
I think it's pretty easy to determine. If they make eye contact, they're confident. If they're not looking at you and they kind of avert immediately, then they're kind of shy. That's a pretty easy indicator for me.
There can be women who walk with a certain gait, let's say. They walk with like a certain way that they do it, where you could think they're very confident, and then you talk to them, and they're totally not. They're like, and they're kind of sheepish and this type of thing. I don't even know if we could judge confidence just at a look. But even if I were to grant that there's some cases where you can judge if somebody's confident or not confident, in some cases, just if we're looking at it on average, I think that most people can determine physical beauty in another person at a glance. Like, it doesn't take much. Just look over, that's all you need, right, to know if you think they're attractive or not attractive. So if you're just going off that purely physical metric, when we ask, between 1 and 10, that's really what we're looking for. It's like, in 10 years, at a glance, is the average guy, when he looks over, going to think that you're better looking at this point in your life or at that one?
I understand.
We're gonna get the rest of the answers from everybody. You are 27, better looking in. Or wait, hold on. Did I get all the? No, I don't think I finished here. Hold on. You said better looking at 64. 30 years.
Then
time?
34,
Yeah.
depending on what procedures I might have. Yeah.
Okay. And what about 40 years time at?
Probably cap at
74.
that point.
Okay. And when would?
I think
when's the peak?
Peak will be between 34 and 44.
34 and 44. Okay. So you have not hit your peak yet.
Correct.
Okay. And then going back 10 years time, were you better looking at 24 than you are now at 34?
No.
And then were you better looking at 18 than you are now at 34?
No.
Okay. Going to you're 27, better looking in 10 years time at 37?
No.
Okay. And then you're 27, were you better looking at 18 than you are now at 27?
No.
Okay. Do you think you're currently at your physical peak?
I would say maybe like 24.
So 3 years ago. Okay. And then you're 27, better looking in 10 years time at 37?
No, I believe that I've already hit my peak probably around 4 or 5 years ago.
So 22, 23?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think anybody reaches their peak after the age of 30, in my opinion.
Okay. Fair.
How old are you again?
27.
You'll think differently later.
I mean,
I think
what do you
I've
mean? What do
already
you mean
hit my
she'll
peak.
think differently?
I think-
like as in terms of she'll cope?
No, I just think as you get older, especially as a woman, and you look back and reflect on your looks later, that drastically changes. That's why I can say now that, like, I peaked at 28 because I can look back and say, like, that, like, I made a lot of changes in my appearance as far as, like, even just little things, as things I would do with my hair or my makeup that make me look a lot better that I learned over years. When you're really young, you're kind of just doing whatever, trying to figure it out, different hair color, different haircut, like. So I just
Yeah, I think that's reasonable to say if you're talking about a 4-year stretch, like 24 to 28. Okay,
Correct,
yeah, that's
yeah.
fine. But I think it becomes cope when you're 32, 33, and you're like, no, when I was 24, I was way better looking now. What we're asking for is like you're just seeing a picture of a person, right? That's it. You're looking at their 24-year-old picture, and you're looking at their 34-year-old picture. What do you think the average person would find more attractive? The 34-year-old version of you or the 24-year-old version of you?
the average person.
Yeah.
I think 34-year-old me.
Okay.
Erroneous! Erroneous!
Wait, but so how about this?
I wouldn't say that. Sorry, I
go
wouldn't
ahead.
say that now about me at 28 or 29. I think I was far better looking at 28 and 29 than I am now, and I also think I was far better looking at 28 and 29 than I was at 18 or 19. So that's why I'm saying peak for me varies on the woman. Everybody's peak is different for your physical appearance, in my opinion.
Well, what
But
if we adjusted for this? Let me ask you this question. Have you had any sort of cosmetic enhancements?
absolutely.
Since? Yeah. So let's pretend that you're 19 years old and had the same cosmetic enhancements you have right now. And now we're looking at the same picture of you at 34 versus 1920. Same cosmetic enhancements. Which one's prettier?
Definitely when I was younger, 24.
Yeah. So then the basic idea here is that you're using cosmetic enhancements in order to enhance a youthful standard for beauty. That's what's going on. And if you had those same cosmetic enhancements when you were younger, you'd be prettier younger, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then I think that's why people get so confused by the answer of women when they often will say, no, I'll be a lot prettier in 10 years because they're banking on cosmetic enhancements in order to kind of keep their youthful look. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I still think I don't necessarily think that all of the cosmetic enhancements that I have now would look good on me that young. No. So I still think that could be different.
Well, which ones? Which ones would have looked worse? You fundamentally have the same bone structure, same height, same everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess cosmetic surgery, I don't necessarily think all the work I had done on my body would have been appropriate at 18. I don't think it would have looked better. I think it would have looked ridiculous. But I grew up and then was able to determine what I felt like would be best looks-wise as I got older.
Why would it have looked worse?
I don't
at
think
20?
even if I had all the things I had done right now, I'm taking back what I said. I don't think I would have been more attractive at 18 with all of the cosmetic procedures I've had now. I don't.
No, so let's say it's 20 years old, same exact cosmetic procedures. What about your 20-year-old self would look worse?
I guess it's more of an appropriateness to me.
No, not appropriate, not context, none of that. Just two pictures. 20-year-old you at the age you are right now, or 34, same cosmetic enhancements. Why does 20-year-old you look worse?
I just don't, I don't know. I guess it's hard for me to see my 18-year-old self, how I look now with the cosmetic enhancements. So I guess it's just hard.